So mistake number 2, falling behind on your study notes. So whenever we interview Year 12 students and we ask them, what's the one thing you wish you did differently throughout Years 11 and 12, the one thing we almost unanimously hear is, I wish I stayed on top of my study notes. And there's a couple of reasons for this, right? Your study notes are a really critical foundation of your knowledge. So you're going to get so much content thrown at you over the course of Years 11 and 12. What your study notes therefore act as a way to summarize and get concise on the key things that you need to learn and therefore study for your actual exams. And so creating them is a really powerful foundation for your study and your knowledge. The problem with falling behind on them is that, what can often happen therefore is you're madly rushing the week before the assessment to try to create them. And in Year 10, you can get away with that because, the volume of content, not as much. In Year 11, it grows. In Year 12, it grows even more. And so what often happens then is instead of doing actual study, doing practice questions and practice papers and applying the knowledge, students get stuck in actually just writing their study notes out and completing them, or they just skip that step entirely and start to do practice questions. And both those have poor implications. In the first case, if you're stuck doing your study notes, you're not learning how to apply it. So often you don't do as well. And in the second case, if you skip the study notes entirely, often your foundation of knowledge isn't strong enough and therefore your practice responses and exam responses are not up to scratch. So we can therefore see that getting on top of these is so important. Now there's a bigger reason in the sort of grander scheme of things, and that is as well, Year 11 should be when you build your routines. If you haven't got into a good routine for your study notes, for example, by Year 12, things are going to get hairy quickly. And so Year 11 is also such a powerful time to work out when you're going to write your study notes, how you're going to write them, how often, how you're going to structure them, and answer all of those questions in a way that works for you. So by the time you hit Year 12, you've got a system in place, you're operating smoothly, and the stress levels are a lot lower because you know what you are doing.